Hey, what's up everybody? Before we get to the video, I just want to explain the layout. What I'm going to do now is I have the camera literally boom, bumped up to this, and I'm just going to run through the different tone samples of all the single coil sounds from my 600 ST. We couldn't do that before because the humbucker was wired weird, but I was able to fix it. So now you're going to hear all the positions, but only in split humbucker and or single coil. So I found it fun to finally discover those tones, though I am not a fan of them. But I wanted to share them here with you without any nonsense or talk. And then afterwards, I do want to have a discussion about the guitar, my intentions with it, and maybe ask some advice. So I hope you enjoy. What's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you enjoyed the sound samples without any talking or any of my nonsense, getting involved, getting in the middle and going off on some kind of weird tangent about nothing that has anything to do with you hearing what the pickups sound like. But either way, I want to talk about it. Well, first and foremost, something that this guitar suffers from severely is something that a lot of guitars similar to this did. It has a humbucker and single coils and only one control as far as, you know, a knob. And unfortunately in that case you can really only have one value of potentiometer. In this case it's a 500K, I believe, which is good for this guy. But for these guys it darkens them up. And if you go back to my PV, by the way, it's for sale in Danvers at the Guitar Center there. I'll put a link down below if it's still available. If you want me to talk about that guitar later on, by all means I will. I had my time with it. I needed a few bucks, sold it off. They gave me probably more than they probably should have, especially since they're only trying to get $174 for it. Regardless, going back to this guitar, and right now I'm kind of in this weird conundrum of what I want to do. The thumbnail and maybe the title, I'm not sure yet how I'm going to say it, mentions the letters P, T, S, and D. And unfortunately, I sound like a grim Dr. Seuss. Unfortunately, that is me. Or I do suffer from PTSD. However, my symptoms don't really manifest too much. Once in a while there'll be an anxiety, or I should say it affects me more when I'm asleep. How about that? And that's why I got into cannabis, because I heard that that helps with it, and I was taught what terpenes or whatever the heck they're called to seek out, and there you go. And for the most part, everything has been groovy for over a decade, easily. But the past 2.5, maybe even 3 weeks, something changed. Something changed, and it came back pretty hardcore, especially last week. And I was talking to somebody, my clinician, about it, and she's like, well, you did just grab the guitar that was your childhood guitar. And I didn't think anything of it. I did not think anything of it. I said, okay, but I picked up my Atari cartridges, which are all right there in a drawer, you know, looking nice. It looks really nice. And I'm like, well, what about these? This specific, and I picked up Astro Blast. I said, this specific game shut the world off when things were ugly. And she said, yeah, but video games and musical instruments satisfy a different part of the soul, so to speak. Video games is about leveling up and escaping reality and becoming a commander of a spaceship blowing things up, and you're trying to progress, and you're going after that high score, and there's a reward to it. Whereas an instrument is used to express feeling. And I know it sounds obvious now, but it really wasn't to me at the time. To express feeling, emotion, and to tell people something. When you're with the guitar, you're speaking. You're speaking with your heart, you're speaking with your experience, you're speaking with your soul. And unfortunately, this guitar, along with an incident that did happen recently, woke a lot of that up, and it's almost crippling at times. But I've been doing things to keep it subsided. Like yesterday, I went up to Rockport with the missus, just her and I by ourselves. Didn't matter that my PTSD was kicking in, the social anxieties of being around a lot of people in a crowd. You know, you still have to face these things. And that's how I do it. Sometimes I take a break and I hang out in the room or whatever. I stay here. But for the most part, I try to face it anyway and try to work through it instead of allow it to keep me in place. But that still leaves another conundrum. This guitar. Because I am so happy and grateful honored to have this in my possession, and the idea of getting rid of it has been popping up in my head. And there's a couple of things we need to discuss, and I discussed this with my clinician too. I'm like, I get a lot of people expecting a lot from me and this guitar, and there's a lot of projects I start and they disappear for whatever reason, and the only way I can explain it is the universe says it's no longer mine. And I apologize for that, but you just have to understand that's how I'm going to be. I'm not really on here for clout. I'm on here for kinship. I'm here for camaraderie and conversation and to have a good time. So if my style of video hinders a growth of subscription, then you know what, so fucking but. I don't care. I'm true to me and I'm honest to you. So another idea came to me is to alter it. Just slap a set of EMGs in it. Just do something you would have done back in the day if you didn't upgrade to a Charvel Model 4 from this guitar after giving it to a buddy after smashing his windshield. After putting your boot right through it. Pow! Fuck you and your Mustang too. I would have just jammed EMGs in it and called it a day. And I've been looking at them. And there is a set, I mean, their single coils are just whatever they are, you know. But there is an 89 that you can split, so you have the controls. And the reason I'm thinking of active, not only because that's what I would have done back in the day, but because they all use the same potentiometer. I believe it's a 25K, correct me if I'm wrong. But that would solve that problem, and I wouldn't have to physically alter a damn thing. However, there is this one guitar that I've always wanted to own. I'd like to either have an original, you know, the legit ESP, I should say, or kind of created myself. And it just so happens that this body is the exact shape, because these were designed and built by ESP. A lot of Kramers were. Most of the Kramers were. That would undertake, I don't think I would block the center pickup. But then it would lead back to that same conundrum. If I'm going to do that, I might as well change up the control layout, you know? Keep the pickup layout. But, you know, maybe plug the 3 little mini toggle switches and put a 5-way there. I have a super switch that a buddy of mine gave me, but I have plans for that. I do have plans for that. But I mean, I could always just get a mini humbucker, put it in here, and do an HSH setup with the super switch. Oh my God, it's 10 positions, I believe. 10 positions. Bend over. So I don't know where I want to go with this guitar, and I just wanted to be upfront and honest with you, because I know it can frustrate people. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should trade it in, use it as a partial trade towards that Les Paul Widow. I still haven't been able to get my hands on that. I actually thought about bringing a whole bunch of stuff and just trying to get that, but I don't want to get rid of one of these Kramers. I want to at least keep one of them. I love Kramer, and maybe one day we will get a new one, and I'll compare it. Though there will be no comparison. They will be their own thing from their own time. But regardless, either way, I really don't know what to do with this guitar. I love the neck. The neck is exactly what it should be, you know? Think ESP. I don't think I would go for the reverse thing, but I want to do that. I want to do that yellow, purple, and whatever. But I don't want to fuck it up, so I don't know. We might put this guitar on the back burner. Maybe one day it'll just be gone. But either way, these pickups are crap. They may have sounded okay, but you gotta remember, I'm putting it through a decent amp. And a lot of that sound is gonna come from here, regardless if I'm a good player or not. So, there are some tones. Like, I do love the split humbucker and the neck pickup. You want to talk about throwing some feels at you. Oh my God. But either way, guys, I hope you understand. And you know what? Don't worry about the PTSD shit. It's not. This isn't a boo-hoo you video. I don't give a flip about any of that. It's a upfront and honesty video. I did repair the guitar. I wanted you to be able to hear it. If you stuck around to here, I genuinely appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I would be honored if you did. But like I said, as long as you're part of the conversation, I'm happy. Guys, wherever in the world you are, I hope you're genuinely doing well. And until next time, take care, keep it real on your journey, and bye-bye.